Hello guys, Beastie here with another video doing my XFL Week 5 Power Rankings. Let's go. So let's get this started. So how you're gonna see this up? 8 Seattle Dragons. How I'm gonna set it up is you have the number which I have them ranked, the team that I have ranked, their record is 1-3, and then the 7 is I've been doing power rankings. I just haven't been making videos about it because I didn't feel like I had enough knowledge of the XFL. But for my own personal power rankings, that's where they previously were. They continue to have mediocre weeks at best, and that's at best. Their games have not been very impressive to me. They've been the mediocre team in the XFL. They've been bad. I haven't seen much greatness from them. They've had quarterback struggles. All around, this team's a mess, and I see them by far being the worst team in the XFL. Guardians, they're 2-2, you can see. And they've had some struggles, but they got a big win against the LA Wildcats. As you're going to see, I have them ranked fairly high on this list. Their defense is pretty good, and they finally might have the quarterback they need. They had and Luis Perez. Luis Perez was in the AAF last year on the Birmingham Iron, and he did fairly good there. He wasn't crazy, but he was fairly good there. He was good enough to win. Same thing in the XFL. He's not great. He's good enough to win. He has my favorite story in the XFL. I can't say that, but it's one of my favorite unique ones. He learned to play quarterback over YouTube, and the Guardians may have a bright future. They may not. They gotta play consistent. If Luis Perez plays safe football, which he did last week against the LA Wildcats, they're gonna find themselves so much more success. But 2-2 does not reflect the record. But they might be able to steal a win next tomorrow, I think, against Dallas, because Dallas is ranked at number 6. But real quick, going back to that, they could steal a win, and I'll explain why when I talk about the Dallas Renegades. And just a quick heads up, not about the team. I'm going to a Guardians game the week after on the 14th. I'm gonna be there with my pal Fergie. Hear him on the Barry and Fergie show. I'm gonna be me and him are going to the XFL game to watch them play the Houston Roughnecks in MetLife Stadium. Next, the Dallas Renegades. I have them at 6, but pretty much for one reason. They're worth 5, but they're better than some teams. But Landry Jones got hurt. Their starting quarterback in week 1. I think they played the Battlehawks. I don't want to say the wrong thing, but I'm fairly certain. Yeah, they played the Battlehawks, and that was without Landry Jones, and they looked like a disaster. It did not look good, and Landry Jones is going to be out for a couple weeks, and I don't think they're going to be looking too good. They look like a mess without him. And honestly, Landry Jones has been struggling throwing many picks, but the other quarterback's even worse. And they're at 6, and they might keep dropping depending on how bad they look with their new quarterback. 5, DC Defenders. They are going downhill fast. Cardell Jones had 2 bad showings. They lost week 3, 39-9, and they lost this past week 25-0 to the Vipers. They're going downhill. I'm not ready to keep tanking them bad, because they lost both their other games at away games. They lost both away games. They dominated it at home, though. They might be a home team, but you're definitely not the best team. You can't even be close to that conversation getting destroyed away. But at home, they look fairly solid, so I'm not ready to quite drop them yet. They're playing another home game this week. We'll see how they do. The Tampa Bay Vipers at 1-3, and I have them at the 4 seed. Not crazy, but they had 2 good showings in a row. They went neck to neck with the Houston Roughnecks right there, and they destroyed the DC Defenders, which week 1 and 2, those were my top 2 teams. and they had very good showings against both of those squads. They might finally be able to find some offensive power, which they've done the last couple of weeks. This picture is of Quentin Flowers, and he's not going to be a Viper. He's been requesting to be traded, and he's not going to be playing. But he made their offense that much more dynamic. Without him, it's very hard for me to want to put these at 3. And then, of course, their record too. But the 3 team also has a 1-3 record. Their 1-3 team is the Wildcats. I put them at 2 last week after a dominating win against DC. Because I also last week I thought DC was still that dominant team we've seen the first 2 weeks, and I saw the Wildcats destroy the DC Defenders. They finally got their act together. They lost a very bad game to the Guardians, but they lost. They didn't have their key receiver Nelson Spruce, and and they didn't have another big guy defense. I think it was like their middle linebacker. But Nelson Spruce and McBride might be the nastiest wide receiver duo combo in the league. And these guys are, I think, hot. They had an off week. I think they're going to be ready to go. And the reason why I ranked these guys over the Vipers, basically their 1 wins were to the DC Defenders in dominant fashion. I just see more potential for the Wildcats, and I feel like the Wildcats have a way bigger shot to actually make it somewheres and maybe even have a shot on winning the championship. The Wildcats do. Now the 2s, and I like their head coach better too. 2, this is going to be controversial. I put the Houston Roughnecks. They were at 1. They're the only undefeated team. Everyone that you can find is going to have these at 1. And I put the Houston Roughnecks at 2. You only win by 7 points last week, and you grabbed like 4 turnovers on defense. You like won the turnover battle by 3 or 4 turnovers, and you only win by 7. That is very concerning to me, and they've allowed the most touchdowns in the league. Their defense is not very good. This team's the most entertaining team to watch play an XFL game. They're the most entertaining. That's why I'm going to go watch a Guardians and Houston Roughnecks game. But I don't think they're quite the best. I think they have a lot of faults. Even though they did beat the number 1 team, which is, I'm going to say, the St. Louis Battlehawks. The St. Louis Battlehawks have gotten even better since they played the Houston Roughnecks. And they're just a complete team. That's Jordan Ta'amu. They're a quarterback. Oh, by the way, Houston Roughnecks also have the star of the league and Philip Walker is their quarterback. But Jordan Ta'amu's like right there too. He's mobile. He makes great decisions. He's very safe. Well, great decisions means he's safe with the football. They win the turnover battle. They have a very strong run game. And the St. Louis Battlehawks' defense is very good too. And then their home stadium is probably the toughest stadium to play at. Pretty much packing it both games, almost having 30,000 fans each game so far. Their 2 home games. This team looks very legit, and this is a team I would not want to face going forward. I don't think they're going to finish this with 6 more wins, but I definitely do think they're the best team in the XFL. I'm probably finishing with a record of 9-1 or 8-2. And that's my power rankings. Hopefully you all enjoyed them. Tell me what your power rankings would be in the comments below. See y'all next time. Peace out, y'all.